Hello and welcome. In this episode we will learn about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was one of the most important leaders in American history. He was the 16th President of the United States. Many people around the world remember him as a great man who worked for freedom and equality. He was born in a small log cabin on February 12, 1809. His family was very poor, and he had to work hard from a young age. Lincoln loved to read and learn, even though he went to school for only a short time. He taught himself by reading books at night. He worked many jobs, like cutting wood and working in a store, before he became a lawyer. People liked him because he was honest, kind, and always ready to help others. He was often called Honest Abe. In 1861, Lincoln became president. At that time, America was in big trouble. The country was divided, and a war started between the North and the South. Lincoln wanted to keep the country together and end slavery. He gave many speeches that gave people hope and courage. His most famous speech is the Gettysburg Address, which talks about freedom and democracy. Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which helped to free many slaves. He believed that all people should be treated equally. His strong words and actions changed the future of America. Sadly, Lincoln was killed in 1865, but his ideas still live on today. He showed the world that one person can make a big difference. His life teaches us to be brave, work hard, and believe in what is right. Abraham Lincoln is a true hero. His story continues to inspire millions of people, young and old, across the world. Chapter 1. Early Life and Humble Beginnings. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a small log cabin in Kentucky, USA. His family was very poor. His father, Thomas Lincoln, worked as a farmer and carpenter. His mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, took care of the home and the children. They did not have much money, but they had strong values and worked hard every day. When Abraham was just 9 years old, his mother died. This made him very sad. Later, his father married another woman named Sarah. She was kind and loved Abraham like her own son. She helped him learn and grow. Lincoln did not go to school very much. He had to walk many miles just to attend a small school. But he loved to read books. He borrowed books from neighbors and read them again and again. His favorite books were the Bible, Aesop's Fables, and stories about George Washington. He learned many things by reading on his own, often by candlelight at night. As a young boy, Abraham worked on the farm, cut wood, and helped his family. Life was hard, but he never gave up. He was tall, strong, and honest. People in his town liked him because he told the truth and worked hard. Even though he started life in a poor family, Abraham Lincoln had big dreams. He believed that with learning and hard work, anything was possible. His early life taught him to be strong, kind, and fair. These lessons helped him later when he became a leader. This chapter shows that great people can come from small places. Abraham Lincoln's humble beginnings shaped the great man he would one day become. Chapter 2. Journey into Law and Politics. After working many jobs, Abraham Lincoln decided to study law. He did not go to a big school. Instead, he read many law books by himself. He worked hard and passed the test to become a lawyer in 1836. People liked him because he was honest and fair. They called him Honest Abe. He helped many people with their problems and did not ask for much money. While working as a lawyer, Lincoln became interested in politics. He wanted to help people and make good laws. In 1834, he was elected to the Illinois state legislature. This was the beginning of his political life. Lincoln was part of the Whig Party. He gave many speeches and worked for better roads, schools, and laws. Lincoln believed that slavery was wrong. He wanted all people to be free and equal. In 1846, he became a member of the United States Congress. He spoke against slavery and wanted to stop it from spreading to new states. After one term, he returned to his law work, but he still watched politics closely. In 1854, something important happened. A new law called the Kansas-Nebraska Act allowed slavery in new lands. Lincoln did not agree with this law. He gave many speeches to explain why slavery should not grow. Many people listened to him and liked his ideas. In 1856, he joined the new Republican Party. This party wanted to stop slavery in America. Lincoln became a strong voice for freedom and fairness. His words gave hope to many people. Lincoln's journey into law and politics showed his deep care for justice and truth. He believed that leaders should serve the people and do what is right. This journey would take him to the highest office in the land. Chapter 3: The Lincoln-Douglas Debates. In 1858, Abraham Lincoln wanted to become a U.S. Senator. To do this, he had to win against a man named Stephen A. Douglas. Douglas was already a very famous politician. Lincoln and Douglas had many different ideas, especially about slavery. To show their ideas to the people, they decided to have a series of debates. These debates took place in 7 towns in the state of Illinois. At each debate, many people came to listen. There were no microphones or radios at that time, so Lincoln and Douglas had to speak loudly so everyone could hear. Each debate lasted for hours, and both men gave strong speeches. Lincoln said that slavery was wrong. He believed that all people should be free. He did not want slavery to spread to new states in America. Douglas had a different view. He said each state should choose for itself whether to allow slavery or not. This idea was called popular sovereignty. Lincoln's words were simple but powerful. He said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." This meant that the country could not stay half free and half slave. Many people agreed with Lincoln, even if he did not win the Senate seat. In the end, Douglas won the election, but Lincoln became very popular across the country. People saw that he was smart, honest, and brave. The debates made Lincoln a national name. Just 2 years later, in 1860, he was chosen to run for president. The Lincoln-Douglas debates were a big step in Lincoln's life. They helped him share his ideas with more people. His strong voice for freedom and justice became a light for many Americans. These debates showed that words can make a big difference. Chapter 4: Election as the 16th President. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln became a candidate for President of the United States. He was chosen by the Republican Party. This party was new and wanted to stop the spread of slavery. Many people in the North liked Lincoln because he was honest, hardworking, and believed in equal rights. Lincoln traveled to many places and gave speeches. He talked about unity, freedom, and the future of the country. People listened to him and believed in his ideas. He did not want to end slavery right away, but he did not want it to grow in new states. This made many people in the South angry. On November 6, 1860, Americans voted. Lincoln won the election and became the 16th President of the United States. He received the most votes in the North, but very few in the South. This made the country even more divided. Some Southern states did not want Lincoln as president. They thought he would end slavery, and they wanted to leave the United States. Even before Lincoln took office, 7 Southern states decided to break away. They formed a new group called the Confederacy. Lincoln said that the country must stay together. He wanted peace, but he also wanted to protect the Union. On March 4, 1861, Lincoln gave his first speech as president. He asked the people not to fight. He said, "We are not enemies, but friends." His words were calm and strong. Lincoln's election was a very important moment in American history. He showed that a man from a poor family could become president. His victory gave hope to many people. It also marked the beginning of a very difficult time for the country. The Civil War was coming. Chapter 5: The Road to Civil War. After Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860, the United States was in great trouble. Many people in the southern states were angry. They believed Lincoln would end slavery, even though he said he only wanted to stop it from growing into new states. Slavery was very important to the South's way of life and economy. Before Lincoln became president, 7 Southern states decided to leave the United States. They said they no longer wanted to be part of the Union. These states formed their own group called the Confederacy. They chose their own president and government. This made the country divided. Lincoln said the Union must stay together. He did not believe states had the right to leave the country. He wanted peace but was ready to protect the nation if needed. In April 1861, the first shots of the Civil War were fired at Fort Sumter, a U.S. military fort in South Carolina. The Southern soldiers attacked the fort. Lincoln sent help, but the fort was taken by the Confederacy. This marked the start of the Civil War. More Southern states joined the Confederacy. Lincoln called for soldiers to defend the Union. Many men from the North answered his call. The war between the North and South had begun. It was a very sad and hard time for the country. The road to the Civil War was full of fear, anger, and big decisions. Lincoln stayed strong. He believed in freedom, in the Union, and in the hope that the country could be won again. This chapter shows how difficult times tested Lincoln's leadership. He faced a divided nation and a war, but he never gave up on his dream of a united and free America. Chapter 6. Emancipation Proclamation. During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln made a very important decision. On January 1, 1863, he gave an order called the Emancipation Proclamation. This was one of the most powerful steps in American history. It said that all slaves in the Southern states were now free. Lincoln gave this order because he believed slavery was wrong. He wanted to bring freedom to people who had been treated unfairly for a long time. He also hoped it would help end the war. By freeing the slaves in the South, he hoped to weaken the enemy and give more power to the Union. The Emancipation Proclamation did not end slavery in the whole country, but it was a strong beginning. It gave hope to millions of people. It also allowed black men to join the Union Army. Many brave soldiers fought to help bring freedom and protect their country. Lincoln knew that some people would not like his decision, but he believed it was the right thing to do. He once said, "If slavery is not wrong, nothing is wrong." These words showed his deep belief in freedom and justice. The Emancipation Proclamation changed the meaning of the war. It was no longer only about keeping the country together. Now, it was also a fight for human freedom. The world began to see the United States as a country moving toward equality. This chapter is a turning point in Lincoln's story. He showed courage by standing up for what was right. The Emancipation Proclamation is still remembered today as a great step toward freedom. Lincoln's words gave new life to the dream of a better, fairer America for all people. Chapter 7. Leadership during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln showed strong leadership during the Civil War. It was a hard time for the country. Families were divided, many soldiers died, and people were scared. But Lincoln stayed calm, brave, and hopeful. As president, Lincoln made many big decisions. He chose smart generals to lead the Union Army. At first, the North lost many battles. People were sad and angry. But Lincoln did not give up. He worked every day to bring victory and peace. He also listened to people's problems. Many wrote letters to him, and he read them. He cared about the soldiers and their families. He visited battlefields and hospitals. He wanted to understand what people were going through. Lincoln gave many speeches to give people hope. His words were simple but full of meaning. He talked about freedom, unity, and the future. One of his most famous speeches during the war was the Gettysburg Address. In just a few words, he said why the war was important: to protect freedom and equality. Lincoln also faced problems in the government. Some people did not support him. Others said he was too slow or too fast. But Lincoln stayed focused on saving the Union and ending slavery. By 1864, the war was still going on, but Lincoln was elected president again. This showed that many people trusted him and his vision. He promised to keep working for peace and freedom. Lincoln's leadership during the Civil War was full of strength, wisdom, and kindness. He never stopped believing in a better future. His actions helped the Union win the war and opened the path to a new, free America. This chapter shows how true leaders never give up, even in the darkest times. Chapter 8. Gettysburg Address and National Vision. On November 19, 1863, Abraham Lincoln gave a very famous speech. It is called the Gettysburg Address. He spoke at the place where a big battle had happened during the Civil War, the Battle of Gettysburg. Many soldiers had died there, both from the North and the South. The speech was very short, only about 2 minutes long. But it was full of deep meaning. Lincoln talked about the values of freedom, equality, and democracy. He said that the soldiers had given their lives so the country could live. He asked the people to remember their sacrifice and keep fighting for a better nation. Lincoln began his speech with the words, "47 years ago." He was talking about 87 years ago, when America became a free country in 1776. He reminded everyone that the United States was built on the idea that all people are created equal. In the speech, Lincoln said that the best way to honor the dead was to keep working to protect freedom. He said, "Government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth." These words became very famous and are still remembered today. The Gettysburg Address showed Lincoln's vision for the future of America. He wanted a country where all people had rights and where the government served the people. His words gave new hope to the nation during the hard days of war. This chapter shows Lincoln's great gift for speaking with heart and wisdom. The Gettysburg Address is one of the most important speeches in American history. It helped shape the nation's future and reminded everyone what the country truly stands for: freedom, unity, and justice for all. Chapter 9. Second Term and Reconstruction Plans. In 1864, Abraham Lincoln was elected president again. This was during the Civil War, and many people were tired and sad. But they still believed in Lincoln. They trusted his leadership and his hope for peace. Winning a second term showed that the people wanted him to finish the job he had started. Lincoln knew that the war would end soon. He began to think about how to rebuild the country. This plan was called Reconstruction. The North had won many battles, and the South was getting weaker. But Lincoln did not want to punish the Southern states. He wanted to bring them back into the Union kindly and fairly. He said, "With malice toward none, with charity for all," which means no hate and kindness for everyone. He believed that the country must forgive and work together again. He wanted to help both the North and South heal and grow. Lincoln's plan was to let Southern states join the Union again if they promised to follow new laws and end slavery. He also wanted to help freed slaves start a new life. He believed they should have rights and freedom like other Americans. In his second speech as president, Lincoln spoke about peace, healing, and the future. He wanted the war to end not with anger, but with hope and unity. He believed that America could be one strong nation again. Sadly, Lincoln did not get to finish his plans. But his ideas helped guide the country after his death. His vision for a better and fairer America stayed alive. This chapter shows Lincoln's heart and wisdom. Even after a long war, he chose peace, kindness, and unity. His second term was a time of hope for a new beginning. Chapter 10. Assassination and Enduring Legacy. On April 14, 1865, something very sad happened. Abraham Lincoln was shot while watching a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. A man named John Wilkes Booth, who did not agree with Lincoln's ideas, came into the theater and shot him. The next morning, on April 15, Lincoln died. The whole country was shocked and heartbroken. Lincoln had just helped end the Civil War. He had big dreams for peace and rebuilding the country. But his life was taken too soon. People across America, both in the North and South, cried for their lost leader. They knew he was a good man who cared deeply for the people. Even though Lincoln was gone, his words and actions lived on. He gave hope to millions. He ended slavery and helped make the country stronger and more united. Many people remember him as the great emancipator, because he worked hard to free the slaves and bring equality. Lincoln taught the world that anyone, even a poor boy from a small cabin, could become a great leader. He showed that honesty, hard work, and courage could change history. Schools, streets, and even the capital of one U.S. state, Lincoln, Nebraska, are named after him. His face is on the $5 bill and the penny. The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. was built to honor him. People visit it every day to remember his great work. This chapter tells us how Lincoln's story did not end with his death. His ideas of freedom, justice, and unity are still alive today. Abraham Lincoln's legacy is strong. He will always be remembered as one of the greatest leaders in the history of the world. Vocabularies. 1. Cabin, a small, simple wooden house, often found in the countryside. 2. Slavery, the system where people are owned by others and made to work without pay or freedom. 3. Debate, a formal talk between people with different ideas, often in public. 4. Election, the process in which people vote to choose a leader or government. 5. Union, the group of states that stayed together as one country during the Civil War. 6. Proclamation, an official public statement or announcement made by a leader. 7. Leadership, the ability to guide and support a group or country. 8. Address, a formal speech, often given to an audience or the public. 9. Reconstruction, the time after the Civil War when the United States worked to rebuild and bring states back together. 10. Legacy, what a person leaves behind after they are gone, such as their actions, ideas, or impact on others. Quiz questions. 1. In what kind of house was Abraham Lincoln born? 2. What job did Lincoln study for by reading books on his own? 3. Who debated with Abraham Lincoln in the famous 1858 debates? 4. In which year was Abraham Lincoln elected as the 16th President of the United States? 5. What was the name of the group of Southern states that left the Union? 6. What was the name of the order Lincoln gave in 1863 to free slaves in the South? 7. What was the name of the famous speech Lincoln gave during the Civil War about freedom and unity? 8. What was the purpose of Lincoln's Reconstruction plans after the war? 9. Where was Lincoln when he was shot? 10. What is the name of the large monument in Washington, D.C. that honors Abraham Lincoln? Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed learning with us. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Your support helps us grow and bring you more inspiring stories and easy English learning content. Do you have a topic you'd like us to cover in our next video? Maybe a famous person, an invention, or a country? Let us know in the comments or messages. We'd love to hear your ideas. You can find answers in the description. Thanks again, and keep learning with us. See you in the next video.